So I'm going to talk about those backsplashes that people stick on the backs of the wall on the RV, and you can actually use these in the house too. These are solid quality. I mean, it's like a vinyl flooring material. It's thick, but let me talk about these, and let me talk about the other ones you see online too. You know, on Amazon and Walmart. So there's another type that's out there that has a kind of like a fake grouting, and it looks kind of plasticky, but it looks like a shiny tile. And you'll see on the reviews it'll say 4.5 out of 5 stars. But if you read the reviews, you'll see that most of the people are saying that they're not sticking to the wall. They're falling off. And the 4.5 out of 5 stars are the people who buy it, they stick it on, and they go, oh, this is looking great, looks perfect. And they write a review, and then a week later or 2 weeks later, it falls off, and they go, oh, I already wrote the review. So that's why these things are getting such good reviews, is because the minute they buy it, it's, you know, it looks great. They write a review, it's awesome. And that's it. Now, I will say the other one that does not stick on the wall well, it's easier to cut. It's much easier. You can take scissors and cut around your little gaps and everything. So it's much easier to cut. But what's a good of a product if it doesn't stick on the wall? So that's the problem. So these are the same thing. These have 4.5 stars on Amazon also, and these are thick. These are actually they're hard. It's a 3 millimeter thick. So even when you come up to an edge, it looks like a tile, because technically it is a tile. I mean, it's a vinyl floor plank tile type structure. So it's got little gaps. I mean, this is actually, in my opinion, this is as close as you're going to ever get to a true backsplash. And the reason why I chose this is I read the reviews and people said it stays on the wall. So weeks later, a month later, people were saying this actually stayed stuck on the wall. So I just hate, you know, people buying a product and then it falls off the wall and then they go, oh, that's, you know, of course it's garbage. But I hate wasting the time, you know, people wasting time doing something and that happens. So that's why I'm showing you this one. So this will show you how to install this. By the way, this is a MOFIT. That's the brand of it. I'm not sponsored by them by any means, but, you know, I want to show you something that's good. So let's get started on this. So the first thing you need to do is take everything off the wall that you can. I had a cup holder that comes out here for the cups, and I had a shelf and things over there. So take everything off the wall that you possibly can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one layer. I'm not going to go, you know, all the way up. You could, but I think I don't need it that way. I think I just need the first, you know, layer up. We'll see later on. I might add more. But now we've got everything taken off the wall. Take a cleaner and clean everything up nice and clean, because you want to get any grease off of that wall, because grease is your enemy. And another thing is, behind the stove here, luckily I don't cook in the RV. I cook everything outside the RV. But if you do cook in your RV, you can get this grease that really packs inside this panel. And if you do cook in your RV, you probably need to clean that, like, I'm going to say 4 or 5 times. I mean, you need to clean it, let it dry, clean it, let it dry. Clean it over and over and over, because that grease sometimes gets inside this board. So just keep cleaning it. But I never use my stove. I cook outside. So now that everything's cleaned, this is the difficult part. So what they say is you got to make sure that there is a true straight line here. Basically, if there's not a true straight line, then when you put these on the wall, they are upside down. They are not going to fit flush with each other. You're going to get gapping on one side or the other. So you want to make sure that you have a perfectly straight line. And if you don't, then you can bring it up a hair higher so that you have a slight gap underneath. And I'm going to show you at the end of the video how to fill that gap, and not with caulk, because caulk, you know how caulk is. It's going to last you maybe 2 years and maybe 3 if you're lucky. Then you got to cut it out and recaulk everything. There's another material you can stick right on there, and I've had it in my house kitchen for 7 years now, and it just keeps holding up. There's no mildew or anything building up on it. It's easy to clean, so I'll definitely show you that. So I do want to tell you the worst thing about this material than the other one is you need a really solid, like, X-Acto knife or carpenter's knife to cut this material, because it is thick. Unlike the other stuff, this is thick. So you do need to give it a good score, and then it'll break off like a tile. So that's the only thing bad about it, but that bad is also good because it means it's thick and it's tough, so it's going to hold up. And like I said, it's going to stay on the wall. So I already checked, and my line is straight. So I'm still going to put a slight gap underneath it because, you know, you got expansion and things like that. So once everything is cleaned up and prepped over there, now you need to score a tile. That way you have a nice straight line for the side of the RV. So you don't need to cut all the way through. You just need to score the top of it. That way it'll break over. So let's go ahead and cut one of these. Line that up. And like I said, you're just making a kind of a lighter cut on the top of the tile, and you can see the cut, and it'll just fold over right on that line. Once you get it over there, now you will give it a little back cut. When you do drywalling on a house, it's the same thing. You kind of give it a little cut on the top, and then you cut from the back side. Make sure you don't cut your fingers. I'm not liable for that. And now you have a perfect straight edge right here. Now, of course, if your RV is crooked on that corner, you should match it for that. But another thing, I know I said you need to put the non-silicone, that little thing I'm going to put on the bottom here. But on the edge, it's okay to put a little silicone, because the backs here are what gets dirty and gets mildewy. The tops and the corners, they don't get mildewy, so you can go ahead and use silicone on this corner to fill up any little minor gaps. Because you know as well as I know, the bottom of the sink area is where you get all the nasty mildew and stuff. Peel off the back, and hope I don't mess this up. Okay, so bring it in. It's gonna stick once you touch it. And then kind of work it in like this. Look at that, that is really good looking. And since I'm at the right height, because I got my little mark there, this should hit. And it did. Look at that. Just like that. So now we got our mark, we can take this off. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave this side on and take this one off. Just swing it up. This one's going to lay right in there like that. Oh, look at that. That is going to be so good looking. And again, you just peel this backer off. And like I said, I'm not sponsored by these people, but they make a good product. So people with good stuff deserve to get complimented. Look at that. That is good. like that. And another thing I really like is, look at the blend between these two panels. It's just freaking awesome. There's no line in between. You can't tell which panel starts and which one ends. And I think these are heavy enough duty for an actual house. I mean, these things they're vinyl planks, so they should be. Would that fit under it? No, I gotta cut just a hair off the top. Okay, so I cut just a little bit off the top, lay it up there, make sure it's gonna work, and it's gonna work. Now, I will say on my RV, I got a little bump out here. I think it's where the, things aren't perfect on RVs. But I think this is gonna hide it. I think this is gonna cover right over it. We will do it to find out. And again, bring it in. As much you can. And there we go. And it does. It covers up that little bump. And that is it. You can see right here, make sure you push these things really hard into the wall. Well, not too hard, of course. These are RVs. Just give a nice even pressure through everything. That way it's sticking really good. And then you can attach these things. By the way, this is a cup holder, or I don't know what it is, but I use it as a cup holder. I put it up here so it keeps things off the counter. And then I have one good steak knife or cutting knife. I just stick it back here. That way it's out of the way. I don't have to have a special, place for it. I got kids and I get a little nervous with the kids being around, a knife like that. So I just put it back there. It's out of the way. But I'm kind of going off subject here. But that is it. And I'm going to get the sticky thing that'll go on the bottom right now. So this is it. And again, I'm not sponsored. I just want to show you because it's a good product. Insta Trim. I use this in my house. And like I said, it's been up for 7, maybe even 8 years. It's just a little trim piece. And the cool thing is you can put this on other things too. There's bigger ones. But I got the 1/2 inch by 10 foot, which means it's 1/2 inch that tall. When you put it in the crack, it's going to be really small. So I'll install it on the crack and show you close up what it looks like. So you just peel the backing off and you push it right into the crack, right in between. And it will just stick right in there. It kind of glues itself a little bit to the bottom and here. The nice thing is, they say if you ever need to remove it, it ain't gonna tear anything up. That's what they say. But I don't know. Alright, I'll finish sticking this on and then show you a close-up of it. So that is it. You got a nice backsplash. You got a nice trim piece on the bottom. What that does is it makes it so it's easy to clean up down here. And I think one of the next things, maybe I'll switch this sink out because these sinks really suck. These little thin plastic things. I may put a stainless steel in there. But you could, like I said, you could go higher, building this thing up as high as you want. But, for what I need, this is perfectly fine. It improves the looks, keeps everything off the wall back there. So that's it. And you like what we're doing here, please subscribe and leave comments about anything, whatever you want. We'll see you next episode.